Hey, good morning everyone. Rob here from Southwest Florida Television. Happy Friday. Stand by here for a second. I'm going to wipe the lens off on this camera. A little something there. Beautiful morning out here. Absolutely gorgeous. Nice blue sky. Really calm. Very, very flat out there in the Gulf. We're at Area 2 Beach right now. The north end of Area 2 Beach at Del Norwiggins Pass State Park. Still have a red tide warning in effect. However, the air is nice and clean. Take a nice deep breath. Don't smell any of that nasty red tide. Hang on one second. I want to wipe this lens off again. Sorry about that. Well, let's take a walk down to the water. See what that looks like. There's actually a few people out here on the beach this morning. As I said, you can breathe out here. Now, as we all know, that red tide, it comes in pockets. And just because you don't smell it here, maybe up the beach or down the beach, you'll smell it. We're definitely still under a red tide warning. There's still there's dead fish on the beach, a lot of little bait fish. Last Tuesday, the water was just a dark brown, reddish brown. It's not like that right now. It's cleared up somewhat. It's hard to tell until we get out in the light. There still are some dead fish. Oh, look at this. A dead stone crab. Wow. A dead stone crab on the beach. Those things are a delicacy. The stone crab. Wow. Beautiful weather out here though, absolutely beautiful. But look at the water. Look at the difference in the water since Thursday. Or since Tuesday, I'm sorry. Still cloudy. Still got red tide. I can see some dead fish. Looks like little bait fish floating out here. I have no idea when this red tide is going to leave us. I heard some rumor floating around that it's going to be here until November. Till the water starts cooling down. That would really stink. So, I wanted to give everybody an update on Roy. So here we go. So Roy is in rehab. He's been in there now since Monday. Here's a big drumfish. Sorry about that. A big old drum just rotting away on the beach. How sad. Ugh. Boy, does that stink. But anyway, back to Roy. He's in rehab. He's had several therapy sessions now. He's in a lot of pain. He's very, very depressed. He doesn't want to be in the hospital. He's depressed because he can't walk around. Every time he stands up, he gets dizzy and weak and lots of pain. His left leg is a mess. That's where the infection started. For those of you that don't know Roy or what happened, he went out in the water with an opened wound and contracted the flesh-eating bacteria. So now his leg is all swollen up, and there's actually an open wound. You can pretty much see the bone in his leg. He doesn't have much meat on him anyway. You see the tendons in there, and they're worried about that healing up. So they're talking about maybe if it doesn't heal, they'll do the skin graft. And there's a tiny chance that they might have to amputate his leg. But that is a very minute option. Right now it looks like the worst case might be a skin graft to patch up that wound. But the good news is all of those bad toxins are out of his system. He's still on antibiotics, but it looks like his blood is clean. Now it's just the healing process and the rehab. He's been laid up for a couple of weeks and he's having a hard time walking, and he's just very, very depressed about that, not being able to be mobile. So please keep Roy in your thoughts and prayers. And keep those cards coming. He loves getting those cards. He reads every single one of them, and when he gets a little better, he's probably going to be sending thank you notes to each and every one of you. He's keeping all of the cards in the envelopes so he doesn't lose track of them. So sad. Remember last Tuesday when we were out here, the Rangers were picking up all the dead fish? Well, they did a wonderful job, but they came right back. Eels, fish. Still dealing with the dead fish. Lots of bait fish here on the beach. These are all little bait fish. Fish, eels, crabs. There's a little crab there. We saw a dead stone crab on the beach earlier. Just a horrible sight. Still seeing and feeling the effects of this red tide. However, I do not smell it out here this morning. Keeping my fingers crossed. Not having any problems breathing. Ugh, another dead little crab. I don't think there's any new sea turtle nests on the beach. I think we're still holding at 60. We're about at the end of nesting season here. Kind of looking around for some neat shells. Nice little biting conch shell. Florida fighting conch. I'm not gonna do much of a beach walk here this morning. I really just wanted to come out here and check things out and give everybody an update on Roy. Still seeing the dead horseshoe crabs on the beach also. But lots of these little bait fish. Ah. Another dead stone crab. There's another dead stone crab on the beach. There's one of his claws over there. Why? Those things are worth a lot of money. Another dead crab. Boy, oh boy, lots of dead crabs now. There's a blue crab over there. Look how blue that claw is. Lots and lots of dead crabs on the beach. Trying to get into some sunlight here so we can take a look at the water. It's not nearly as disgusting looking as it was on Tuesday. Still got the red tide though. No doubt about that. I definitely would not recommend anybody take a swim now. There are dead fish floating around out there. Any shells down here piled up on the beach? Anything interesting? Boy, we've been seeing, we saw the other day when we were out here, we saw a lot of little sand dollars again. Lots of little sand dollars on the beach. Little baby sand dollars. There's a turkey wing shell over here. Little turkey wing. I see a lot of little sand dollars down there. There's another one right there, upside down. Little sand dollar. Just a little baby. Lots of coquina shells. These little coquinas. Lots of coquinas on the beach. Not the most beautiful sight. Still lots of eels washing up on the beach. A lot of things you just never think about being out there in the water, especially the eels. People don't realize how many eels we have out here. Little baby sand dollar next to the dead fish. Quite a few of them actually. There's another one right there. 1, 2, 3. There's one over here. Bunch of little sand dollars. A little baby Florida fighting conch shell. Ugh. When are our beaches going to return to normal? So many dead crabs on the beach. So many of them. There's another one over there. Crabs, eels, fish. There's an eel right there. Sand dollars everywhere. Every time I stop, sand dollars all over. Look at them all. Little baby sand dollars. They're everywhere. There's probably 20 of them right here. Right in this little area, little sand dollars. Man, lots of slipper shells. The old slipper shells, flip it over. See how it looks like a little slipper? The slipper shell. All this beauty mixed in with the dead fish. Ugh. So sad. Let's see, there's another dead stone crab over here. Boy, we've seen, that's the third one, the third stone crab we've seen just in my little short walk so far this morning. Very sad. Those are like gold. You know, the weather's gorgeous. I mean, look at the weather here. Look at the sky. Beautiful blue sky out here this morning. Flat water. Some little waves breaking on the shore. Just some little ripples coming in. Weather-wise, it's fantastic out here. You look around, and if it wasn't for the dead fish, you wouldn't know we had red tide. Cannot smell the red tide yet this morning. Feels like the breeze might be blowing offshore, which is good. That's what we want. Oh, another thing about our friend Roy, it's kind of depressing him, is he thought he was going to be in and out of rehab in a week. I mean, that was kind of an unrealistic thought. Then he thought maybe 2 weeks, but the latest is he could be in rehab for a month, maybe even longer. So, not happy. Not happy about that. Seen a lot of little fighting conchs. A lot of little fighting conch shells on the beach. The old Florida fighting conch. There's a nice pretty little scallop shell over here. That's a beautiful little scallop. Gorgeous scallop shell. Ugh. Such a shame seeing our beaches like this. Is there an end in sight for this red tide? That's the million-dollar question right there. There's a little moray eel, a baby moray. I'm just gonna go up here up to area 4. I miss coming out here and chatting with Roy. I do go see him just about every single day. But it's just not the same without Roy sitting up here in his chair with his harmonica waiting to greet me, tell me some stories. When he's in a little better mood, I'll try to do a live feed with him from the rehab facility, just so you can see his smiling face. That's the one thing about Roy. No matter how he feels, he always has a smile for me and the people that come visit him. Well, I was hoping to find one really nice shell maybe to take home today. But I don't think that's gonna happen. At least it hasn't happened yet. I don't know if the tide's going out or coming in. I didn't check the tide charts. Not feeling any effects of the red tide here right now. No itchy eyes, no coughing, no bad smells, other than the dead fish. Boy, lots of shells piled up here. Lots of them. I'm gonna step over onto this sandbar. See if maybe anything washed up out here. seeing anything. A couple of our birds here. Sandpipers and terns and gulls over here. Boy, that water is warm. That's the problem. That's why we're having these issues with the red tide, this warm water. Beautiful weather though. Look at that sky. Is that not gorgeous? Oh, guys. Oh, big puffer fish up here on the sandbar. Upside down. Sad, sad. All these dead critters. So sad to see them. Dead horseshoe crabs. Ugh. Terrible sight. Really not seeing any great shells. Nothing's just popping out here and saying, pick me up. No live fighting conchs out here. I'd love to pick one up and show you a live fighting conch. Haven't seen one of those lately. Just empty shells everywhere. Little scallop down here. Little scallop shell. So sad looking at the beach and seeing all those dead fish. Look at them. See them shining there, reflecting in the sun. Horrible sight. Horrible smell, too. Thankfully, the red tide smell isn't out here. Just absolutely gorgeous weather, though. If it wasn't for all the dead animals. Dead eels, dead crabs. Yeah, big blue crab. Big blue crab and an eel. Horrible. Horrible, horrible sights. When is the red tide going to go away? I wish I was able to give you that answer. This is the sandbar just off Area 4 beach, where Roy would normally be hanging out. Roy would be sitting underneath those pine trees over there. Please keep those prayers and cards coming. I'll post a picture of Roy later with his address if you want to send him a card. He's getting them all and enjoying them. He's keeping a list of everybody that sends him a card, and his plans are to send everybody a thank you note. He's gonna have his hands full doing that. There's been so many beautiful cards and well wishes. He really appreciates it. That's what he needs now. The more people show him some love, the quicker he's gonna recover. Because as I was saying earlier, he's very depressed right now. Very depressed. He thought he was gonna go to the hospital and be out in a week and running around being his old self again. Well, it doesn't work that way, especially when you're 93, we know that. Big snook rotting away on the beach. What a shame. Well, here we are. Can you hear Roy playing the harmonica? Singing a song? This is where he'd normally be sitting, right here. Right here is where Roy plants himself. Right up in there is where Audrey's bench is. Right up in that area there. I'm surprised that I haven't seen any. Now, I haven't been looking closely, but no moon shells or whelk shells this morning. Seen a few little worm tips. Seen quite a few conch shells, fighting conchs. A big difference in the color of the water since last Tuesday, that's for darn sure. Still have red tide, but at least the water isn't that putrid, dark brownish red color. Beautiful as we look down to the south. Isn't that gorgeous? I mean, if nobody told you, would you know that there's red tide? Other than, well, there's one dead giveaway. There's nobody at the beach. The beach is empty. That's kind of a giveaway. An empty beach. That doesn't happen very often in Southwest Florida. An empty beach. There might be a handful of people out here this morning. And the reason being, the air is pretty clean. The air is clean now. You do smell the dead fish, but not the red tide, fortunately. That red tide is horrible. There's actually a paddleboarder offshore out there. Haven't seen any dolphins. Sometimes the paddleboarders will attract the dolphin. As you can see, the water looks a lot better than it did on Tuesday. I think I'm going to turn around and head back down the beach. We'll look around here. Still dealing with lots of dead fish on the beach. But just absolutely beautiful weather here. Beautiful weather. It's too bad we can't enjoy our beaches to their full potential. You can see all the fish here. See them all? That's all dead fish, unfortunately. Fish, eels, horseshoe crabs, several different kinds of crabs, blue crabs, leopard crabs, stone crabs. Puffer fish, look at Little upside down puffer fish, all bloated. There's a dead crab over there. It's a terrible sight. When I see Roy, I tell him he's not missing anything out here at the beach. Roy's actually finally said he's not going to be coming back to the beach. If there's any signs of red tide, or he will not be out here. Smart move for him. We're just hoping that this water cools down a little bit. So darn hot. That's what one of the big contributing factors to red tide is the warm water. Earlier I did share an update about Roy. So if you probably want to check the video out again here. I have to check the replay out. I'll put a link, I'll post it on YouTube as well. Just so sad. Knowing that red tide is out there on a beautiful day like this, a beautiful Friday. Relatively an empty beach here. Nobody wants to come out and take their chances. And it's not very pleasant with the dead fish on the beach. The rangers spent a couple days picking up all the dead fish, and lo and behold, they're all back again. It's a never-ending battle here right now. They can only do so much with the resources that they have. And I'm just showing you one little stretch of our coastline here in North Naples at Del Norwiggins. Now they say it's better, the further south you go, the better it is. The cleaner the beaches. I hope that's true. I know to the north of it, it's terrible. Up in Fort Myers. It is 10 times worse up there. They're dealing with a lot more than red tide. They've got that toxic blue-green algae they're dealing with. Absolutely terrible. It's really warming up out here now. Here, I'll give you another look at the water here. You can see it's still cloudy. I'm not saying this water is pristine by any means, but it's a lot better looking than it was on Tuesday. If you check out my video from Tuesday, it's a lot better looking, the water now, than it was on Tuesday. We still have red tide. It's just a little easier on the eyes. I don't know what the status is on our sea turtle nests. I think we still are at 60 nests on the beach, which for me is 61. Did we find another one the other day? 61. I think we did. I can't swear to that. Just so pretty when you look out here into the Gulf. It's hard to believe that red tide is here. It's looking north up the beach towards Area 5. We're down the south end of Area 4 right here. Such a beautiful morning. Love that sky. Look at that. Wow. Again, a little later this morning, I will post a couple of photos from this morning's beach walk, along with a link where you can watch this video in a little higher quality on YouTube. Earlier in my beach walk, I gave a little update on our friend Roy. I'll give you another one here real quick in a nutshell. He's very depressed. He's in rehab. His left leg is a mess. He's got a wound there and it's not healing very well. You can pretty much look in the wound and see the bone and tendons in his leg. Doctors are keeping a close eye on that. The infection he had, the flesh-eating bacteria virus, that's gone. The antibiotics killed that. Thank goodness for that. He's not doing very well on walking. He's in rehab. He's getting therapy. He's only been there a few days. He's very depressed because he's not up and walking. He thought he'd a couple days of therapy and he'd be back on his feet. Well, we know that's not how it works. So he definitely still needs our prayers. Prayers and cards. So along with some pictures to this video and the link to YouTube, I'll post a photo of Roy that I've taken, one from over the years, and I'll put the address where you can send cards if you want to send him a card. Those are always appreciated. Isn't that beautiful? I gotta take a photo of that. Look at the water. Hard to believe it's contaminated with red tide, that red algae bloom. you're just tuning in, still dead fish on the beach. As quick as the park rangers can get them picked up, they wash back up on the beach. Right now, I'm not smelling any of the red tide. My eyes aren't burning. I'm not coughing. Not feeling any of the effects of red tide. The only thing I smell are the rotting fish on the beach. Ugh. Fish, eels, crabs. There's a little bit of everything out here. All kinds of dead marine life on the beach. Thank goodness we haven't seen anything like a dolphin or a sea turtle or a manatee. Ugh. Those have been washing up in places, and that's horrible. Horrible. I don't want to see a dolphin, a dead dolphin. But you can see the eels. A lot of bait fish, another eel down there. Not very pleasant. Not a pleasant atmosphere for taking a beach walk, unfortunately. And I guess the big news is, look at the beaches. Empty, empty beaches. If you do want to go to the beach in Southwest Florida, I am told that the further south you go, the better it is. If you want to drive to Marco, I think it's going to be worth the drive. I think they're okay down on Marco Island. Maybe even down around the Naples Pier. But I would definitely check, do some Googling. If you have any friends in the area, give them a call. Ask them what the beach conditions are. Because the red tide is still lingering, that's for sure. No matter what you do, if you do go in the water, be sure you shower off, and I highly recommend you don't just rinse off, you shower with soap. Use the beach shower, try to use some kind of environmentally friendly soap. You know, you can buy stuff like that in a marine supply store. You know, it's the same kind of soap they use on boats. Just because the water's a little cleaner looking today, don't let that fool you. And I'm just speaking for up here in North Naples at Del Norwegians Pass. The conditions change drastically every couple of miles. Makes a big difference with the red tide. I'm just reporting from this one little 1 mile stretch of beach in North Naples. You can see these tree stumps sticking out of the water here. Look at, pretty low tide right now, but imagine there used to be trees like this out here. And way back in the old days, the beach used to be way out here. Now there's all these tree roots and stumps and stuff. They're all out in the water here. This is area 3 at Del Norwegians. All kinds of little fish swimming around out there. You can see the dark vegetation there. Our friend Fisherman Mike likes to go snorkeling out here. One of these days I'm going to give him a GoPro to get some video of all the little fish swimming around out here. Hopefully the red tide hasn't killed them all. Well, I want to thank everybody for watching this morning. Be sure to tell your friends about Southwest Florida Television. Keep those cards and prayers coming for our friend Roy. Remember, nobody pays me to come out here doing these little updates. I love doing it. I like keeping people informed. If you want to make a little contribution, it's always appreciated. You can find my PayPal account info in the description of this post a little later, as soon as this live feed ends. For those of you that have sent something, thank you so much. Every little bit helps. Helps keep the phone on. Helps put gas in the car. You know how it goes. Let's hope we see an end to this red tide and a solution for these horrible Lake O releases. Ugh. Everybody keep Southwest Florida in your prayers. South Florida, not just Southwest Florida. Well, have a fantastic Friday, wherever you might be watching from. For Southwest Florida Television, I'm Robb Stan. God bless.